Why is this jungler coming back with a vengeance in high elo and in general? Play rate, 4% at the moment, was almost 5% last patch. He's not a farmer. He's not a hyperscale. I mean, he snowballs and he does scale, yes, but in the jungle, because we don't have the fallback of farming, how is he having such great success with good win rates and ridiculous win rates on snowballing components? This kind of stuff is most likely what you're used to seeing because he's counter-invading, and Evelyn doesn't walk to Krugs because obviously the wave was there. Could have just used his E. The Evelyn is now over here, places a ward as he does the Raptor camp, and you've seen the Dark Harvest rune set, but this is exactly the kind of shit he likes to do. His damage is illegal once he gets going. And what is an Evelyn going to want to do? An Evelyn's going to want to farm full clear, and immediately by doing this, you force her out of her comfort zone. Now, I do think here we should have used our E, avoided the vision there, taking this, walked around in the gap, taking this, because you know in Evelyn, when they go for these counter invades, they're not necessarily... You're seeing why this champion has fallen off? Because he can't full clear match. He just wants the red side quadrant, level 2 gank, these kinds of things. That's exactly what he wants to do. Now he realizes he was illegally reverse cleared, reverse counter jungle, then Evelyn's going to be sitting in a bush. So this game, as you can see, we are not going to be looking at SYLAS who gets a free level 2 gank and wins, because we all know how those play out. How can a SYLAS 1v9 this game when there's a huge gold deficit? And he made his own mistakes. That's the question. This is, in fact, Grandmaster on the Korean server jungler, has a challenge as well, so this is someone who knows what he's doing. In this particular situation, you've got here the Aksha mid lane using Pride to rotate to the bottom lane to kill the Rel. You've got the Pantheon also down here saying, hello, I'm going to help out from the mid lane matching. SYLAS comes out of base and says, you guys are diving too long. And we'll address the theory in a second, but it is a 4v3. Very early in the game. We have boots to get here quickly, but nothing of statistical value. And we still don't have our W, which is the huge turn thing that we have, and we're not even close to 3. Hooks, Q hits, we get the slow 15%. Obviously, whoa, those were the chains of destiny. Remember, if you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource and a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly coaching classes, Q&As, patch note rundowns, private high elo streams, as well as a private jungle Discord. And I know how to make junglers convert from low elo to gold to emerald to diamond to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anybody you know, jungle diff every game you play, head to virkayu.gg. Remember that this is still fine for him. He is okay with this. Red team still has the lead, but SYLAS is 100% okay with this. So, while we have a bit of a quiet moment here, okay, relax a little bit. When you do this invade, if you do this into this, the goal is to cut across and protect. Why? Because we know the enemy jungler is starting here. If we have any idea that the enemy jungler is starting here, you handshake and say, I'm taking your whole red side quadrant. Then you can gank mid lane, cut across, and rotate down if you see there's a dive. Otherwise, you can just gank the top lane and fall back to your blue side, invest that time wisely, and because they started on your red side, you will get the respawn as a finisher before you go back to base. Evelyn will, of course, get the same thing. That's why it's called a handshake, because you're just giving each other the same stuff. SYLAS's case here, they didn't ward, they went for the aggressive play, he didn't fully take the Krugs, worried about being detected, things were lost, sadness happened. But he got some stuff in the bottom lane. So, SYLAS works because the kit is inherently busted, which is why they don't like it when it's in the jungle. Yet it keeps coming back in the jungle, so please let us keep it in the jungle because it's fun, and then give us Aatrox back in the jungle while you're at it, maybe Kiara. Thank you very much. His Q has a 15% slow. His auto attacks are what you saw here, right? He was able to hit the max range E. He had a passive stack up, which is a swirly twirlies, okay, stacks up to 3 times. And every time he auto attacks, he does bonus damage. But he also gets 125% attack speed boost when he has a passive stacked up. You see, and you can see this on the left here. Obviously, he's using it at each turn. But you see on his bar here, whenever he stacks up the passive, there we go. Oh, that's a blue buff. Foolish Virkayu. No spells. There we go. See, it stacks up. So, you want to leverage that passive as much as possible for the bonus damage to the target, plus those that are around them, but also use that bonus attack speed for more auto attack weaving within your spells. And if you watch the main channel video I put out recently with SYLAS on the thumbnail, I showcase some of those animation cancels with his abilities plus AAs using the passive. So that'll slow that down for you nicely on the main channel. Can't miss it. Says jungle lazy, it's got SYLAS. Explains a little bit what we're talking about here, but not really. And mostly that's about jungling ideology versus just the SYLAS. Here we're talking about just the SYLAS. So, out of base, we got a top side quadrant. Pantheon is now going to roam to the top side. We are kind of thinking, okay, look, the Evelyn should have probably done some camps here, and obviously we have vision as well. So we can expect that she will gank on the top side. We miss our chains. Doesn't matter, we have the W. And that is it. That is it. The W. That thing you max, you turn it. Whew. We used to max Q back in Season 9 because we were allowed to farm so much quicker. We had different kit a little bit. We had shields on the E and things like this. He is able to mechanically turn most fights. He is able to go in and survive and bait. His kit has everything that makes junglers good, but he can't fall back to clear. So what most people suck at is not, hey, look, pressing buttons is hard. It's, hey, how do I think in terms of quadrants and not full clears? Because the SYLAS isn't going to go roop and roop again. He's going to do a quadrant. And before he does the quadrant, he's going to look to do some fisting. After the quadrant, he's going to look to do some fisting. Now he's going to go to do some fisting before he goes back to the quadrant. It's a very rigid playstyle that's way more difficult to sort of make work because you've got to be able to track the enemy jungler. So, in this particular case, Evelyn has decided, most junglers in this particular case, if we're playing a typical jungler, are thinking, okay, look, you know, Evelyn was top side there. She went back to base. All right, she kind of showed up a little bit. I got a kill. That's great. But now she has tempo a little bit to head to the bottom side. She could very easily go ahead and take some of my camps, right? So we want to protect ourselves by defending our Raptors. The SYLAS says, I don't care because I know that Evelyn's going to end up on the bottom side here, and I just want to counter gank her. He doesn't mind being level 4 because he's strong at level 4 because 2 points in W with, at this particular stage, only a Dark Seal plus an Alternator. You saw the damage that came out. Lockdown CC, huge range. Huge turn, huge burst, auto attack weaving, passive, 15% slows. The kit is everything. Most junglers, as I discussed, hate being level 4, just because it's awkward, right? You do your full clear, you get 4. Full clear, you're 4. Now you do crab, now you do some ganks, then you do your second spawn of your Krugs and your Raptors, or whatever it is that you did first. We hit level 5, okay, cool, I'm level 5. If you can distort the time between when someone gets level 4 after the full clear, so let's say 320, and when they get level 5 by minutes, they get stressed, they make bad plays, they're in rough positions. At this particular stage, he just assumes that she may be down here. But obviously at this particular stage, if you've got vision, you can kind of track her. But again, he doesn't care. He's level 4. He just wants to know, is there stuff I can kill? That's it. That's all he wants to know. And most junglers, give me something, please. Unlucky. Get experience at level 5. Most junglers, where do they suffer? In the modern game, they suffer a ganking angle. So laners that are dying to free ganks, come on. Like, most junglers are not that great at ganking angles. What he wants to do is just brute force these ganks. He'll just show up, it's worth the invest always. Can he then leverage that power of PvP that he has into counter jungling? Pretty strong. As we see here, here's the Evelyn. She has hit level 6. He's not really thinking about it. Have you noticed that? That's why I'm kind of not talking about the Evelyn as much, because most SYLAS players don't think as much about enemy junglers. They kind of capitalize and use intuition for which side to be on and things like that. Here, she might think she's gonna, we can E this wall and hit another E. There we go. Prime the E. Hit that, auto attack. Oh, we tried the Kiwi flash. We're able to get the kill. WB up again in a second, but I don't know if we can survive this. We cannot. Doesn't matter though. No, it doesn't. Gold amount. 3.6, Evelyn, 3.7. We're the same. And Evelyn is 57 CS while we're 35 CS. And we're down 100 gold. So why farm? And it's not about being lazy. Again, most people, if you just said, hey, go play SYLAS, they will either farm too much and too slowly, and lack this visceral PvP impact on lanes, or they will just have a terrible mechanical presence, not know how to turn fights, not know when to send it, full send in, and not really look to gank before they fall back to camps. Coached the coaching class of Virkayu GG last night, and the jungler twice goes to do wolves before rotating to the bot lane and twice misses stuff. If he just went straight to the bot lane and fell back, he'd be fine, because he would have been there for those ganks, been there to get his camps afterwards, and had the fusion of ganking and farming. SYLAS, again, doesn't really care about that. So now, because we hit a pretty decent space in our gold income journey, we go and do our blue side quadrant. We do expect the Evan to be on the bottom side. She decides to swap on over, come to the top side again to repeat and get the Jax ahead. SYLAS is like, well, you should be on the bottom side, but, you know, you have no R now. You do a flash, I'm just going to kill you. He now has her R, and that's the final piece of the puzzle. Use their own power against him. Here, we might have to use the Evelyn R to reposition. Maybe he doesn't know. Does he know? Yeah, maybe he doesn't know. So, with 344, we're down 1,000 gold. The Evelyn is now going to take this free Void Beetle. And Akshan is going to be moving down, chasing this Pantheon into the bottom lane, where there's a 2v2 mega fight. The Kalista dies, Thresh is alive. Can he get the kill here? No, the Pantheon's like, yes, I take it. Akshan's like, yo, can I kill anybody? checks it out. The boomerang hits the slow. Sylas is like, look, I'm losing this, so don't care. It's going to run at people again. And it sounds a little psychopathic, and that's because it is, but here's the thing. Jungling is not measured by CSPM. Jungling is not measured by how many camps you can take. Jungling is measured by your gold and experience per minute. So if you can if you can maximize that in whatever way your jungling requires, who cares? And that's what's powerful about Sylas, because he enables, better than any other jungler at the moment, insane ratios, insane damage, huge mechanical outplay ability. He takes your ultimate from you, and he scales with gold. Is there a better mage? Is there a better AP jungler that scales with gold? I mean, Lilia does obviously as well, but I don't think in the Sylas capacity. Like when Sylas is ahead with a 25 stack Magi Death Camp, Night Harvester, Shadow Flame, what outdamages him? Like he just one-shots people with a simple E. You know, simple E auto W and you're dead if you're squishy. She takes this, we take that. Cool. Gold amount. Night Harvester completed. That's the whole point. If you're Viego, you want the Kraken. If you're Viego, you want the Noon Quiver to farm quicker. If you're the Sylas, you just want Night Harvester. That's our gold metric. Get that, and now you turn up the aggression to 11. But wasn't that aggressive enough? No, it wasn't. It was. Not enough aggression. More aggression. Obviously, we can see ults as well. Kalista pressed the button, so we'll just leave. Map scaling, OP. Evelyn, not talking about it. Why? Because we don't really care about her. Oh, tracking her farming and her CS. I mean, I guess she could come to the bottom side now. I guess it's a thing. So we could just look to dive and shadow. Obviously, here be very cautious about showing on vision line. Pantheon is now going to start to move again. My camps are down on the bottom side. Let's just fight. Look at the damage here on the Thresh. Look at the damage. Now, whether or not we win these fights, whether or not we should take these fights, whether or not you don't know results-based it. But this is how you think. You think mechanically. You think brute force. You think 3v3, we win. Monkey together. That's literally the mentality using the Night Harvester. The enemy team obviously can play that against you, especially if you overcommit, especially if you're not tracking, especially if the Evelyn understands that you're going to be doing this and then uses it against you. Again, a good jungler can beat it. But can you beat the raw power of that guy pressing buttons on you? That's the question. And most cannot. Champion is super strong. He is now 2 levels up from this, right? He's 514, 81 CS, 19 ahead. Guy's 355, gold amount now. He is down 1300 because of that one play, right? Because of the play. And she hasn't even used a Herald yet. This is going to get even worse, although she seems to be going way too deep here. Pantheon TV's there she goes. She activates it so she can at least get some cash money gold. Hopefully for her, at least to extend that lead a little bit. Boink, 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 boink. There we go. So the gold amount now is 6.5k at 13 minutes. And the metric I use typically is by 14 minutes, if you can have 6k at 14, that's kind of like your carry threshold, right? 6k to 9k. But 6k is almost the baseline. Like if you want to 1v9 a game and you have that, that's pretty good. So she's close. So what happens? Firstly, we have Night Harvester. We spent our time a little bit there. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Play with your cooldowns. Obviously, here we've got the W, which is maximized based upon missing HP. He's in the Mordekaiser ult in case you didn't know. There we go, free kill. Simple EW gets that schnacked up together. Here, because we died, unlucky. Total coin flip, but we're saying, look, mechanically we can... Okay, I died. Guess I'll do some camps. Guess I'll do some camps. And that's it. Nothing else to do? Guess I'll do some camps. That's how you look at it. Evelyn's going to go to the top side here, get another kill. Can do nothing about it. Not my concern. At all. Gold, 5.8 at 14. She's at 7. So she's really doing well, and he's at 6. About gold, about experience. The CS numbers mean nothing, although he did just offset that with her downtime. See, every time you have a big lead and you throw, the downtime is huge. Now we have obviously some roams. Hello, Evelyn. No ult. We'll be up very shortly. Rel into Chains of Destiny. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the damage. It is simply his ability to scale with Night Harvester, Dark Harvest, and damage that allows him to play like this. And that is why his play rate is going up, because people realize, you know, I don't need to worry about the intricacies of full sequencing and meshing everything together, and I can just execute it, but it's the mechanics. And it's taking the right fights. And it's understanding where the fights are, and it's having a loose understanding of where the enemy jungler is going to be, so at least you can do equal and opposite things, right? I'm not saying don't track and ignore them and play like a complete donkey. I'm saying that when you can track, and you can understand where the enemy jungler is going to be, this becomes even more potent. And that's the main channel video. But this is still fine, right? Okay, so everyone was just up here. We just killed this. She's probably going to be down there now. That's all you need to know, right? Could I cut this and kill the Jax? Maybe, but turret's dead, so no point. I'm also in the process of buying a blighting jewel. No. I would highly advise your Mejai's, your Death Caps early. But you can also Shadow Flame if you just need to get items. It's a great item, actually. But Death Cap typically with Mejai's is where we want to go. The Blighting Jewel is going to come down in cost next patch. It's huge, but we don't really need it to be, we don't need it. We're good. We're absolutely fine. The damage, we don't need penetration. But again, like you think about it from an AP ratio perspective, if you have great AP ratios, you just want to amplify those ratios, like with Evelyn, right? If you have lower AP ratios and lower damage thresholds, then you want to amplify that a bit more because you don't scale as well from Death Cap and Needless, so you go for the Void stuff. But I would rarely go for it second. And in this particular game, yeah, it's kind of like true damage coming out. I get it, but you got to supersede that with Death Cap in most situations. Right. Now, our bottom lane have lost their turret, so they just all group up to the mid lane because they know Evelyn's going to start to roam. 4 people mid lane. Sylas now sees that Evelyn Chum decides to shadow this. Again, I don't have to worry about econ. Just have to make sure we win the numbers game. Nicely done. Kill the turret, first and foremost. Kalista yeets and saves. We just go straight back in. Oof. See, this is what I'm talking about. Here you go. You got the Evelyn ult on the Sylas. We're going to use our E. He gets silenced by being removed by Kalista, so we have no E. We use our Q, hits nothing, basically just a bit of a zoning tool. Now what we can do, because we've got 3 stacks of our passive, well, 2 stacks, but we're going to try and flash and get a third one here. You can flash auto W and just execute with the Evelyn ultimate, but you can also just flash W Evelyn ult and you get the kill anyway. So much damage. Night Harvester is a good item on this champion. People have been like, man, Night Harvester's bad for years, and I never understand why. Oh, look, a fight for us. Damage on the W too, like it hit, there's no W too, but on the W as well. It's absolutely insane. Bonus attack speed, AoE damage, a slow, hard CC that's long range. Really has a fun kit, nice max range Q there. Obviously use your auto attacks a bit more. Weave those in and use the animation cancels with your abilities as well. Everything can be used together. It's like the volley burst stuff, right? You can face palm things and they can all pop off together. But yeah, that's it. 856, gold amount. 8,000 in the Evelyn, 8.3 now. We've taken over the lead. We're still down on gold as a team though. Most importantly, we gave him the Herald for the Dragon earlier, which again, normally the other way around, but you know, you take what you can get. And I think with Sylas, if you can understand that dying 4 to 5 times early is okay, provided you're getting 3 to 4 assists at least on top of that, impacting lanes in a positive way, and your gold per minute is good, that's all we really need. Hello, Kalista. She did kill us. This is why this champion is on the Riot cannot be good list. Because when she's good, trust me, it's like this, but at level 3, level 4, and it's just nothing you can do. I've lived in so many Kalista lanes over the years when she was broken season 5, 6, and she was run you down. Nothing you can do. Even in season 9, she had a period of time when she was good. And, you know, I was nervous in those lanes. Really have to play properly. So where your E as Zyra is pretty good, because you can slow her down. Leandri's rush was pretty good before item rework. Okay. So, now, why would we go farming? Okay, look, we look at the map, we look at the numbers, there's nothing we can really do. We need level 11. We want to get that cooldown benefit, obviously, and then those stat benefits. Here you go. You see that 23 seconds. 23 seconds. Oh, my lord. At max rank, that's insanely low, but obviously we have lockouts. But while we like to coin flip fighting, at some particular stage, you have to understand that urge to fight is not just a blind rage, Hulk, world breaker, Hulk, right? The fights are kind of measured in a way. All right, like Evan's bottom side, I'll take this fight. Oh, Evan's there, I guess we can fight. You know, I guess I want to gank before I can full clear, or do my camps afterwards. But really segment your thinking. It's a quadrants, and fighting is based upon is based around that. Q, W. You see what I'm saying? I guess you could summarize it as, guy does a lot of damage, huh? Yep. But also, why is it difficult to play? Why do people that you see on SYLAS Jungle end up just inting half the time? Because they stand still. Was this guy at any point in time standing still? That's the lesson here. If you understand how to not stand still as a jungler, and any jungler goes for you as well. If you're a full clearing jungler, and you stand still, and you honestly, and you honestly end up in a lot of situations where you're like, well, I don't know what to do now. Do I force a fight? Do I wait? That's not good. Doesn't matter who you are. But this SYLAS has been a great example of everything has had a goal. The only problem was the first rotation. Silly, right? Like that's easily fixed with a few wards and things like that. Everyone's down on the bottom side. We'll just take the top side camps. Like, it's basic jungling fundamentals coupled with an extremely strong PvP package. Right. The void stuff does work. Now we can go into the death cap. Still advise not the void second, but it's not terrible, right? And you've got a true damage thing going, but it do be that way. Itemization is empirical to a degree, but there's no like one overarching thing that's good on everybody. People have feels with their champion and with their itemization. So the Baron is going to be improved next patch. HP's going up here. We see the Evelyn out of position. TP's being committed. We were down on the bottom side thinking, yeah, let's just do some Scuttle Crabs. Obviously dangerous to be away from your team when the strong side is on the Baron side and everybody's there. So we're just going to go backline now. We miss our E onto the Callista, but we have obviously the ability to yeet our ultimate from Evelyn, so we'll just make sure she dies that way. Now we're repositioned here. We can turn and fight in the backline here. Beautifully done. Focus the Jax. Make sure we kill him. If your team's got him, then we can chase down the Akshan. Chains hit. Got our auto attack weaving as well from the passive. Double stack there. You see it auto because we've got increased attack speed. That right there, that moment, we just take the lead after the Baron. We're still behind 200 gold, but we'll take the lead afterwards. Evelyn can, in theory, steal. We have no smite, so you got a zone. That's what makes this risky. You know, does she know that the smite is down? Rarely do people pay attention in those kinds of fights. As with all fisting junglers who scale well with gold, the idea is to reach this point. This point could be an 18-minute dragon. It could be a 50-minute herald. It could be a 21-minute baron. There is a fight in this 14 to 22-minute range that you need to dominate. Now, SYLAS does scale. We know that, right? We know he's kind of strong. But it's about bringing that here and then ending the game and not allowing enemy teams that might scale better as a team versus us to ever flourish. Gold amounts, you asked. Yes, 12,400. At 22 minutes. Heaven is now 10,000. It's a 2.5 gold thousand swing. Couldn't even get the words out of my mouth. He's also running Moss Stomper, because Moss Stomper is great with SYLAS. You want to be able to move as much as possible. However, next patch is no tenacity. Nice dodge. Easy dodge. Whew, that almost hit. Q, slow. W, got autos as well. Chains of Destiny do hit over that wall. Auctions down the backline here. Waiting for the E to come off cooldown. We do not get full charmed. Here, obviously, we can just Bing Shill. Waiting for the guy to come out of the ult, as usual. There we go, another kill for us. And obviously, we still have second Herald with the Baron. So, you look at this game overall. You look at the map then, like, well, the map is looking kind of good for Red Team. Yeah. But it's not about how it looks, it's about how it is. With 3k up in gold now. Getting a Hex Tech Dragon, which again, even SYLAS likes because of passive. Jax is splitting to force it. Rel can show up over the top lane. Phyllis is the one I feel nervous about with the Evelyn, but he should be okay in theory. We activate that sucker a little bit wasted, I think. We could have used that on the bottom side with the Pantheon and try to really pressure this. So, miss macro from my SYLAS, especially, you got two top here, right? You activate this earlier. So, Pantheon's pushing this, you finish this off, you join, you shove this one out, right? Where's F3? There we go. These two are going to join up. Now you can cut down, catch this wave, and push this up a little bit, and then you can steal more stuff and either collapse to this and go base and handle this, whatever's necessary, right? You have to read the scenario. If your team die, you got to base, right? Don't lose the game because you didn't base. But you have 3, they have 2, you should win it. So yeah, missed Herald opportunity, I do think. Especially with the Baron. And a split push that we could use. And obviously as Pantheon and SYLAS, you can easily kill the Callista at this stage and the Thresh. Got lockdown CC. All you need is Pantheon to hit W, so you can hit E2, right? Second part of the chains. And she should die. Look at this, vision understanding. Okay, people in the top side of the jungle. Most likely I'm being seen as I move. Now Pantheon is splitting on the top side here. Are we going to see some rotations? Nope. Now we farm. See? How quickly we farm now? How quickly we've ramped up that farming sequence. We want 16, obviously. We're not quite close. We just hit 15. But see where the farming comes in. 176 to 136. He was accepting the deficit early to force the issues early because he couldn't match. So he took leads elsewhere to make sure his gold per minute was good and his experience per minute, while Lackluster was okay within touching distance. Few kills, few objectives, that experience gets propelled up, and then the shutdowns make the gold go up, and then you start to take over because you win every fight. Don't focus too much on the farming. Don't worry if you're down 35 to 70 CS. I mean, okay, that's a little big, but you can easily PvP your way back into it. Why did you play it like this and never stop your feet moving and understand how to mechanically play the champion and use all the ults? And obviously, using your W is very important. Rel's gonna go in, maybe. Lantern is down, so be careful. There we go, yes. Oh. We just hit a Q, and just went EW, dead. Didn't even need any auto attacks, and you can weave them in if you want to. There we go, Evelyn ult and Evelyn ult into an Evelyn ult. I'll just leave that in there. Got tongue tied, but it's okay. Chains do miss. We're gonna flash here. Woo! See you, Evelyn. Now she's healing up. We got smite. Smite W. Sorry, smite Q W. Damage. 793, 800 damage on the W. Point click. 339, further 763. 920. These are astronomical numbers, guys. These are big numbers. And he's got void stuff, right? And he's got 24, 25 stacks. It's untenable to think you could fight. What do you do as an ADC if he hits the chains, man? If he hits the chains, you do nothing. And that's why people like it. Because all it takes is good goal per minute understanding. Flowing, keeping your feet going, counter jungling moments, tracking a little bit to have some counter ganks. Sure, you can mess up a few times, but who cares? As long as you get more than they do. This is the build of destruction. LP gains and triumph. And it's why you're seeing it come back a little bit in the hands of the skilled pilots. Thank you very much for watching. Play SYLAS. Get games. Virkayu GG. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching.